to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk, and this, my friends, is the Thunder Show, and what that means is the internet's most passionate wine program, and we are here to talk about wine. It's what we do. It's what we've done for over 4 years. Ridiculous. The grays are coming in. Chardonnay. I have a secret confession to make. I'm a little bit worried about making this confession, but I have to. Palates change. I'm getting into the oaky Chardonnays all of a sudden. Lizzie and I just went on vacation to Anguilla. They didn't have a great list, but what they had were quality Chardonnays like the Kisslers of the world, Hartford Court Single Vineyards, Flowers, and I ordered them because that was really the play, because you buy it's kind of like drafting, you know, best available athlete. That's what I do when wine lists are limited. Best available. And it's a category that I've long been over. You know, that's a girlfriend I dated years ago. I mean, I drank these kind of Chardonnays, you know, in, I don't know, 98, 99. It's been a long time since I was really into the oaky, over-the-top buttered popcorn Chardonnays that I've so often dissed on this own show. However, my palate has gravitated towards them somewhat. And even in an off-balance, not good way. Like, I don't even want a balanced, structured Chablis type Burgundy or classic Chardonnay with balanced situation, like some of the Ramey single vineyards, which are greatly balanced. I kind of want it to be a hair over the top. Kind of like put on some red lipstick. You know, just like mix it up that way. That's kind of where I'm at. So, now, that's kind of where I am at this moment in my wine drinking career. Not that these three represent that. I haven't had these three, but these are classic Chardonnay. Well, let me phrase. This is a classic Chardonnay. This is kind of a classic Chardonnay. This is a new kid on the block. So I just kind of looked at some scored, highly, you know, talked about, sought after Chardonnays. These are three of the scored over 90 points by major critic and selling well Chardonnays in the store right now. So I figured that'd be a great sample, you know, for this. California Chardonnays in general tend to go the oak butter route. So, you know, I felt like this would be a great learning experience for me and the maniacs out there. See, I will preface what I'm tasting to make sure that you are not falling in love with over oaked bomb, the buttered bandit. I'm sorry, I don't know. So let's see what we get out of this. The first wine's really interesting. It's got such a Burgundian label, but then it's so California'd out. Pay attention to the zoom in. Clos Blanchot, 2008 Chardonnay, James Barry Vineyard. 90 points, Robert Parker, 22 US dollars. This comes from 25-year-old vines, and this is named after a Chablis vineyard. So these guys are really into the Chablis style. This is probably going to be less oak than what I've been tasting, enjoying, or flipping out over. This comes from the James Barry Vineyard, which is really known for their over-the-top, spectacular 94 plus higher, 6, 7, 8 point Syrahs from Paso Robles. So I'm excited to taste this. Some great kind of like cloudy white colors going through. Let's give it a sniffy sniff, because I don't know if you heard, it's what we do on the Thunder Show. 14.1 alcohol. Aromatically, not all that much coming through on the nose. On the initial attack, there's a little minerality, believe it or not, which is kind of ironic. So the butter bandit, or the over-the-top rocky, you know, minerality who's winning over here is definitely the minerality. I'm not getting the, you know, the oak or the butteriness that I've been looking for, but 90 points, Parker, 22 bones. Kind of an exciting Chardonnay if it hits on all cylinders. Let's give it a whirl. Aromatically, a little concerned at first, but kind of reserved, not horrible nose. It's not like I don't taste anything. There's a little green apple, a little pear, a little crushed rock. Let's give it a whirl. Very fresh, very clean. Kind of like that seashell minerality coming through. Pears for days. If you've ever had Asian pear, you'll know exactly what this tastes like. Asian pear. Little hints of butter, little oak, much more balanced play. And so take away my whole, you know, positioning where my palate has been for the last 36 months when it comes across the Chardonnay. This is spectacular. It's almost like Chablis with a little bit of California sunshine. And anybody in LA and San Fran always pushes for the California sunshine. Is underrated. And And I like this. Let me give it one more shot. This would be very popular. Clos Banchot. Very small producer, up and coming. Check it out. Is there a website? No. So, not that, but Google it up. Find it. 22 bones. Double deuce. And very much worth it. Parker to give 90 points to an under $25 California Chardonnay is a rarity, but I'm jumping on the bandwagon with the phenomenal lawyer from Maryland. I'm going 91 points. One-upping you, Bobby. This wine brings some thunder. I like it a lot. And I think if you're a Ravenel or Duvessat Chablis fan, but you sometimes like a little bit more, you know, just a hair more oak, you'll love this wine. I think this is spectacular. If you're a Rombauer Chardonnay fan, but you've been noticing that it's been a little bit too much and you need a little bit of a oak diet, this I think can come through as well for you. Very flexible Chardonnay, very interesting, good start. Not the flavor profile that my palate is yearning for, but maybe this will be. Nyers, 2007, El Novelero Vineyard, Carneros, Chardonnay, 93 points, Robert Parker. Aaron Jordan is the winemaker here. Aaron Jordan being one of the great California winemakers, no doubt. And I'm excited about this. Now, you'll notice right away, this is much more golden, much more yellow in color. So that's one thing to take note with. Let's give it a sniffy sniff. Now, all right, let's get positioned because the explosion of wood that smells toasty with a layer of butter on top of it has made itself relevant and has appeared on my nose, which excites me. Again, this is literally a wine on the nose that 1 year ago I would be poo-pooing, saying, oh, it's over-oaked, too much butter, this is going to be a problem. This is kind of the style that is appealing to me a little bit right now. Palates change. Let's give it a whirl. Much more butter. Ooh. Very sharp acidity on the back end that kind of tells you, punk, I'm not playing around. I'm not just, you know, kind of like a real pretty girl that then pile drives you on a concrete. You know, it's not just pretty. There's some power here. And that's what this wine's doing here. Really nice buttery, oaky, kind of charred wood, kind of marshmallow, caramel, butterscotch, all that jazz that Farniente and Chalk Hill and Matanzas Creek used, Beringer Private Reserve Chard, all that stuff that they used in the late 90s and early 2000s to seduce all the California Chardonnay drinkers. That's what this is bringing. However, on the back end, there's a little bit of sensibility here. A little bit more, you know, like roaring 20s and then the 30s. There's a little bit more balance play on the back end. Really good acidity that I think would go really well with a lot of different fish out there. Not the band or anything like that. I mean like fish, like, you know, whole fish, charcoal, grilled, you know, that kind of thing. 33 bones, Patrick Ewing. You know, Michelle, can you just show them the Patrick Ewing jersey? I appreciate that. You know, Patrick never gets enough airtime. You know, there you go. You see it? Got through? Got it? All right. I need Patrick to get his love. So this is 33 bones, 93 points Parker, pretty darn high. And again, because I want to always paint the proper picture for you. If I was tasting this 1 year ago, there's a chance I would score this wine 89 points. But today, because for some unknown reason, who knows, you know, it's not like I gave birth to Misha and all my chemicals changed. Nothing I can really think of. There's been a splash. I'm going to call it a splash. It hasn't been a revolution. There's been a little uproar with my palate. Like, hey, you know, of looking for this buttery, oaky style. And it started before the vacation, so it wasn't one of these, like, I was having a great vacation with my wife and the wines tasted better, Michelle. I wasn't falling for that trap. It's been a slow incline that's happened. I'm going to score this wine today at 91 points. I like it. It's very well made. I can understand why people like this style. It's bombastic. It's fruity. But I should say that it's a 91 instead of a 90 and maybe even an 89 because of the back end. The finish on this is legit. J-Lo finish. I mean, just really bringing the thunder on the back end. Great acidity. Puts it all together. All that chaos gets packaged properly at the end. I like it. Great job, Aaron Jordan. Some good winemaking technique. You can almost just, you can always see the winemaker containing that beast. And good stuff. Really enjoyed it. And now, one of literally the most popular California Chardonnays that we used to sell this. This used to be so hard to get. New in 2007, unfiltered Chardonnay, 92 points wine enthusiast, $40 US, 20 months in oak. So you gotta think it's gonna oak it up. I think the Oak Monster and I should have a summit, because I think I can get along with the Oak Monster right now. Anyway, sniffy sniff. Not as much as we got on the Nyers, but definitely that oak butter, buttered popcorn, a little apple spice mixed in, smoky, a little marshmallow kind of thing. We referenced it before there. I get it even more here, which is kind of a pretty smell. Let's give it a whirl. Very creamy, almost like custard in your mouth. Definitely has the biggest weight feel on the palate, bringing the most oomph on the palate. Let's give it one more shot. What would have been unimaginable only 18 months ago on this show with this palate is going to happen. All three wines, California Chardonnays, are going to score over 90 points. The way it is. The Newton Chard, I'm going to go with a 90, believe it or not. Though it has the best body and the best weight. It's almost like a butterface. You know, it's a little bit lacking in parts. It's kind of sporadic. It's almost if I was Simon Cowell, I'd be like, you know, I can't do the British accent. Let me just do Randy. Yo, dog, you know, you were kind of pitchy in spots, but you're my dog. That's kind of what this wine is. It's a little chaotic in spots. It doesn't completely slide down the palate. It gets a little disjointed, especially on the mid-palate connecting to the finish. There's a part there where it goes, whoop. It's kind of like an earthquake. Whoop. You know, there's kind of part there where I got really scared, but then it finished strong. So you kind of had a whoop, little Richter scale action. Good wine, 90 points, not worth the 40 bones. Definitely would go with the Niners, not the 49ers. I don't want any San Francisco 49ers to get happy. I hate the Niners. I would go with the Niners at 33 bones. But honestly, at the end of the day, the Clos Blanc showed really well. Different. These were much more oakified, much more, you know, butter bandit. Ironically, the wine that's probably least in my palate zone right now is probably the wine I'd be most excited about, because at least that Chablis crisp, clean thing is still in my palate zone. I'm just having a little fetish right now with the oak and the butter. But I will go 90. So what? We went 90, 91, 91? Did I go 91 on this one? Can't even remember. Yeah. So great show for my palate. I enjoyed it. I hope you did. Would love a two-part question today. One, have you had any of these? What's your feedback on them? But much more importantly, have you come back to something? Have you come back home? You know, it's kind of like I'm drinking a lot of matzo ball soup all of a sudden again, too. So maybe I'm getting older. Maybe I'm going through maybe a midlife crisis. Maybe that's why I'm going back to Chard. But have you gone back to a certain type of wine, type of producer, style, you know, variety, varietal, you know, any of that? That is the question of the day. And lurkers, oh no, changed the sign. You, with a little bit of me, we are changing the wine world, whether they like it or not.